What's up, YouTube? This is Chris, I'm Professional Dad, and I'm back with another knife video. I've got a video that I put together for you guys here. I've thrown it together. I've got a few knives out here, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to see what we can come up with. But before I do, I want to do what I always do. I want to welcome those people who are stopping by my channel for the very first time, seeing what I've got going on. I appreciate you. Welcome. I hope you like what you see. We talk about knives and EDC almost every day. Not every single day, because life has a say, but almost every day. We talk about knives and EDC. If you have any questions about knives or EDC, if there's any knives that you're interested in, if you have a question about how to fix a knife, or if you're having issues with knives, or if you just want to talk knives, the comment section below is a gold mine. There's so many people with a world of knowledge waiting to answer any question that you have. I've learned a ton from my comment section, and you can too. Now, I also want to tell everybody, I want to inform everybody that's not already involved, I have a huge contest going on. January 3rd, 2025, I'm going to give a $200 budget away to Blade HQ. The reason I'm doing that is because if I was entering a contest, I wouldn't want to win a knife that somebody else wanted to give me. I'd want to win a knife that I wanted. So what I'm doing is giving a $200 budget to Blade HQ away to the winner. They get to go on there and they get to spend it any way they want. If they want a particular knife, it's theirs. If they want a couple knives that add up to $200, it's theirs. Whatever the Blade HQ sells, they can buy, and it's on me. As a way of saying thank you to every person that supported me in my journey here on YouTube. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the comments and the likes and the subscriptions. Now, how do you enter the contest? It's real simple. You got to do 3 easy things, and it'll just take you a second. 1, you've got to like one of my videos. I don't care which one. Any video will work. Number 2, you've got to leave a knife-related comment on any of my videos. Which one? I don't care. Any of them will work. The only thing that I ask is that it be knife-related, because we are a knife and EDC channel. So we like talking about knives. And the last thing that you got to do, of course, is subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it very much. I do not take that for granted, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. So do all those things. January 3rd, 2025, somebody's going to get a budget. Now, I do want to say, I wish I could give that to everybody. I can't. I can only give it to one person, but I'm excited to do that, and I can't wait. All right, so what have I got for you guys tonight? Obviously, I'm still waiting on a bunch of boxes. I ordered, I think, 13 knives today. So even when the boxes that I'm waiting on gets here, I've got more knives coming. So once we get through this Christmas holiday thing and the mail's, bogged down and packages are delayed and stuff like that, once this stuff all gets lined out, we'll start getting back like it was before, when we have packages pretty regularly coming in, and we're doing unboxing videos a lot more. Until then, we're just going to have to talk knives together and see what we can come up with. Today, I was looking through my knives. I was trying to come up with a 3-knife challenge. By the way, we've got a great 3-knife challenge today and a great daily knife challenge. That was a great one with the premium steels. That's been one of the best ones yet. So I was looking through my knives, trying to come up with a good 3-knife challenge, and I started to notice there was a lot of knives that I haven't given any attention to in a while. I haven't gotten any time in my EDC carry yet, so I haven't looked at them, I haven't handled them, I haven't experienced them. I pretty much unboxed them and put them away. And that was it. So I was looking through these knives, and I wanted to get them out, and I wanted to give a second look to them. We can talk about them, and I can, kind of pinpoint what it was about them that maybe just didn't strike my fancy, or I like something else more, so I was going to focus on other things and prioritize them in my EDC, because I've got so many knives to switch through my rotation. So we're going to look through these knives together. All of these are great knives. I just haven't EDC'd them yet, but I'm going to after this video. All right, so the very first knife that I've got here is a knife that I'm really actually surprised that I haven't spent any more time with, and it is the Kizer Bulldog. Now, one of the very first things that you'll notice, other than the shape, is that there's pink on this thing. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I am a fan of pink. I wear a lot of pink shirts. I've almost worn a pink shirt on a couple of videos before. I haven't, but I probably will eventually. I'm a fan of pink. Real men wear pink. I'm just joking. That's just a saying. But this has some pink hardware, and I think it looks fantastic. It's got dual thumb studs. It is a axis lock or crossbar lock. It's got a deep carry pocket clip. The screws are inset. Now that is reversible. I mean, it's a nice pocket clip. It's a nice deep carry pocket clip. It's got a good spacer there. All in all, this is a good looking knife. I like the blade shape. This is considered a sheep's foot. And one of the greatest things about this blade is the jimping. This thing has jimping all the way down the blade. Now, one of the reasons why is so that you can get several different positions of jimping for, precision kind of cutting and carving, different types of tasks like that. The jimping is not very aggressive. I mean, it's more aggressive than a lot of the micro jimpings that I talk about, where you can barely feel the jimpings and the grooves. This isn't as aggressive as I like, but you can definitely feel it. And if you have smaller fingers and thumbs, you will definitely feel it. So the jimping is not bad. One thing I will tell you is, even though, now I do love the shape of this handle. It fits good in your hand. It actually, I mean, just honestly, the way that it fits in your hand with that little spot there, that little cradle spot for your thumb, it actually feels really comfortable. There is a little bit of a hot spot with the pocket clip. But what I've noticed, and I'm starting to pay attention to this, because I'm left-handed, in my videos you'll notice I hold a lot of the knives in my left hand because I'm left-handed. So I'm left-handed dominant. And when it is in the right-handed configuration with the pocket clip, I'm noticing that it is digging into my fingers. But if I switch it, not so much. So that does play a big part in this. If it is set up for right-handed configuration, it is only going to feel comfortable in your right hand. Now, you might still feel comfortable in your left hand, but you're going to notice that pocket clip definitely more on your fingers. Now, that's the great thing about a reversible pocket clip. You can switch that around and it's going to solve that problem. And some knives are not ambidextrous. So if that is something that bothers you, like this does, it's not enough to bother me, but I definitely notice it. Any extended use, it probably would start to bother me a little bit. But if it is something that does bother you to the point to where you just don't like it, you definitely want to stay away from knives that are not ambidextrous. Don't go with the right-handed only tip up or tip down. This is tip up. Another thing that I will tell you about this is that the aluminum handles. Now I have another one like this. I have a QSP Penguin that's got aluminum handles. It's diamond textured aluminum, and it is extremely aggressive. Like it's so rough, it will like wear your pants out putting it in and out. This isn't as bad as that Penguin, but it's pretty rough. It looks good, it feels good, but it is something that would wear your pants out. Like if you were wearing slacks or something, a softer material, don't wear this knife in your pants. Do not carry this knife on the EDC because it is going to rub those pants and it will not take long. And you'll have a big worn out spot where it's starting to fray and everything. Jeans and stuff will hold up longer, but even jeans I think would quickly, you'll notice wear spots because of this knife. But it's a razor sharp, it's a great blade shape, it feels good in the hand, other than that texturing is a little aggressive. I mean, not enough to not like the knife, just something you need to consider and think about. This would be a really good knife. If you're a guy and you don't mind pink and stuff, hey, it's great. I've actually thought about putting together a video of knives that I have that would be great knives for ladies. I've got some really pretty, like an Arc Blast, it's a really pretty blue. The Desert Warrior knives. A few different knives that have that are colorful that I think that women would really like. And I'm actually probably going to have a few of the ladies in my life, sisters and daughter and stuff like that, look at some and tell me, hey, which ones do you think these would you like, or do you think these are the most appealing, just to get some female perspectives and put a video together for that. And I think that this would be a knife that might be appealing because of the color, because of the shape. It's a slicer. I'm going to tell you, this knife is sharp and the grind is so good. Look at that grind. Now this is in 154 cm, which is typical of Kizer. Kizer does a lot of 154. Kizer does a lot of their stuff in 154, and they do it really, really well. So all in all, it's a great knife. I haven't given it any pocket time. I haven't carried it. You know, I pretty much got so many knives, I put them in boxes and put them in the drawers and forget about them. And just looking at this thing, I mean, like, if it wasn't for having the amount of knives that I have, I would definitely give this knife some attention and some time. Because look at that. That's a good looking knife right there. All in all, the curvature, the belly, I mean, that's a cutter right there. That's a cutter. That's a good knife. It's a really good knife. Now, this next knife is a knife that I like, but it's probably my least likable knife on the table. Not the brand, though. I love QB. This is a QB. This is the Momentum. The Momentum is a really good looking knife, just not in this configuration. This is the Ultim with the black coated blade. I would like this if this was blacked out or something like that. I'm not really a fan of Ultim. I know that some people like it, and that's great. That's the great thing about this. It's all about relative perspectives. You can like something, I can like something different. We can talk about it. That's, you know, we all have opinions and everything. And that's the great thing. Now, I think that it's a good looking blade. I think that the Ultim and the black does go together. You know, I just probably, for my own taste, I probably should have went with the satin blade and maybe a black handle or something like that. But I can't remember why it was that I bought this. I think it was because I like QB so much and I seen this one and I wanted to just check it out. Now, I will tell you one thing about this knife. When you look it up on the different sites, on Blade HQ, Knife Center, things like that, you got to be careful because they will tell you that this is D2. It is not D2. It's AUS 10. So that's a little disheartening. They have it listed wrong. This is AUS 10 steel. It's a black coated blade. I mean, look at that blade. Now the blade, the shape of the knife is great. I love the shape of the knife. I love the feel of the knife. It's got a really good spot right there for your thumb micro jimping. This is that micro jimping that you can barely feel. Dual thumb studs. Not only does it have dual thumb studs, the action is phenomenal, but also it is a front flipper. And I have gotten better at front flipping thanks to a few comments left in the comment section where people were explaining to me how to hold the knife better because I struggled so much with front flipping. And I started taking their advice and using it the way that they said, and boom, I picked it up and I've been doing pretty good ever since. This is a deep carry pocket clip that is reversible. Another one where the screws are inset into the handle so it's not going to snag on the hem of your pants. It's got steel liners that go all the way up. Those liners are milled out with holes all throughout it, so it's going to lighten it up a lot. I mean, it's a good looking knife. And just because I've told people, I've said this in my videos countless times, I'm not the person that likes the brass look or the yellow look. And, you know, it's just when you got that and black together, it goes well. But it's just not my personal preference. But, I mean, it is a good looking knife. And a lot of people would actually love this thing and think it looks great. I mean, the blade shape is nice. It feels great in the hand. It's razor blade sharp. I took a while ago It's just a side note. And there was a cardboard box. It's actually right there. I took the cardboard box and I barely held it in my hand like this. I just wanted to see what it would do. And I just tapped the cardboard. I mean, it went pretty deep into that cardboard. It just whoosh, right through that sucker. So it is a razor blade. It is extremely sharp. It is a liner lock. I'm not a big fan of liner locks. I like button locks or access locks, crossbar locks. Even frame locks. I'm just not a big fan of liner locks. Yes, liner locks are not going to fail on you. Under 99.99% of the time, they're not. I have seen liner locks fail before. I've had them fail on me before. And this one is a classic example of one of the reasons why I don't like liner locks. If you'll look in there, you will see that there's not very much travel onto that blade. It's barely touching the edge of that blade. So anything at all that puts any pressure on that liner, and boom, it's right over. So you got to be real careful. Too much force or anything. A lot of liners, you get far more travel underneath of that blade to give it more contact, more friction, so it can't fail. And yes, liner locks are not going to fail. They are safe. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not telling people, oh, don't go buy liner locks because they'll fail on you and cut your fingers off. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I've seen liner locks fail before, so I'm not the biggest fan of liner locks. But, and this is one of the classic examples and reasons why. But it is a liner lock. Now here's the thing. That Bulldog you get for $79 with 154 cm, aluminum handles, dual thumb studs, deep carry pocket clip. I mean, that's a good deal. This Momentum with AUS 10 Ultim, and it's a QB, so their fit and finish is really, really good on the QBs. All of their fit and finish is. And this is coming in at $60. So if you are spending that money, you can spend you another, $15 or so, and you can get you something with a little bit better materials and stuff. Even if you do step up to D2 or whatever, maybe step up to a frame lock. But if you like the look of the blade, if you like the shape of the blade, if you like the look with the Ultim, there's nothing wrong with the knife. Nothing wrong with it at all. And this is the QB Momentum. Their fit and finish is great. I do like the knife. It's just my least favorite on the table because of the Ultim and the liner lock. If it wasn't for those two things, I would love this knife because I love that blade. I love the blade shape. It almost has a harpoon shape to it. I love the blade shape. I even love the black blade. It's just I'm not a fan of that Ultim and I'm not a fan of that liner lock. Those two things alone, other than that, that's a good knife. This next knife, I'm really shocked and surprised that I have not given this knife some attention because I love this knife. I actually forgot I even had this thing. This is the Kizer Mini Grouper with carbon fiber. This is a button lock. Now this is in Nitro V, so it's not 154 like a lot of your Kizers. This is in Nitro V, but this is a nice daggone knife. Good action. It is a reversible pocket clip that is deep carry. Again, now these screws are not as inset into the handle, into the scales, so there's a little bit of area room for them to grab or something on a thread, but probably not. They're pretty deep in there. It is reversible. Steel liners all the way up through there. I mean, this is a nice knife. Button lock, great action. The action is phenomenal on this. It's got a thumb flipper, and it's got dual thumb studs. It's got a leaf-shaped blade, but they call it drop point. It's got jimping on the top that you can see that goes pretty far up the blade. Now, that's aggressive jimping. That's good jimping right there that I like. It feels good in the hand. It gives you a good firm hold. It is a good full four-finger grip. You see that there's even a little area sticking out there, so my last finger isn't straining to hold on to real estate. It's not falling off. I don't need a lanyard. This is a good full hand grip. Now, if you've got a smaller hand even more so, this would be a good knife and you're going to get a good grip on it. The mini grouper, the contouring of the handle, the ergonomics are phenomenal on this thing. I mean, phenomenal. It feels so good in your hand. This one is another one of those where the pocket clip for me needs to be changed from the right hand to the left hand, but I'm lazy and I don't change them very often, so I just leave them the way they come out of the box. Now, if I was going to carry it enough, I probably would change them, but until I do go to carrying it, it'll probably stay just like this. The action is great. This thing is fidgety as all get out. It is a good looking knife. I love the knife shape. The carbon fiber, look at that. I mean, that carbon fiber is nice. Look at that in that, the way that shimmers in the light. It's a good button lock. Now, it is, again, it's Nitro V, so it's not 154, but there's nothing wrong with Nitro V. Nitro V is a really good stainless steel. A really good stainless. Fidgety. That is just, look at that. That is a nice knife. Reverse pocket clip. Steel liners, button lock, dual thumb studs. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. And it's a Kizer. Nothing wrong with this knife at all. I don't even know why I haven't carried this any. This is a good knife. Carbon fiber. And you don't have to get this. You can, the mini grouper, you actually can get different configurations for this. You can get them with the different steel. You can get them with micarta handles and G10 handles. So now here's another thing. You hear the word mini, like I have a mini nightshade, which looks a lot like this blade shape. It actually has a little bit more curve to it, but you hear mini and you think it's going to be a smaller knife. This is the mini grouper, but it is not a small knife. This is a good size knife. Look at that. Look at that belly right there. This is another one that's a slicer. I've noticed that the Kizers are coming out of the box razor blade sharp. Last night or the night before, whatever, I done a video and I had the Kizer K-Box, a fixed blade, and I took it through paper and it was just like butter. It was so razor sharp, and all of these can do that. All these Kizers can. They are so razor blade sharp. Just a really nice knife right there. The mini grouper. Now you can get the full size grouper as well. You don't have to get the mini. The full size is a bigger grouper. Actually, I'm pretty sure that they do. I don't know what size it is, but to be a mini, this is not very small. I love that knife. That's probably a knife I'm going to put into my rotation really soon. This next knife is a knife that there's something about this knife that I can't put my finger on. I like the knife, but it looks like a Cybertruck for me a little bit, and it is the Kansept Egress. Kind of looks like a Cybertruck. I like the straight lines. I like the blade shape. Now the Egress, they call a reverse tanto. It's got jimping all the way up the blade here, here, and here, so you can hold it in different configurations. You can actually put your finger up here and get that precision cutting. Deep carry pocket clip. Now this is not reversible on this one. This is only a right-handed tip up knife. It is a liner lock with steel liners. This is what it looks like closed. It's got thumb stud. There's no flipper. There's no thumb studs. It's just a thumb hole for opening. And I struggle with that. I struggle with it a lot. See, I mean, I just struggle with it. I struggle with the thumb hole openings. There we go. I'm just not very good at it. Now you can use it as like a front flipper and stuff like that. It feels great in the hand. It feels great in the hand. You know, I've noticed that anytime a handle has a lot of the straight lines, you would think that that wouldn't be very ergonomic, but it actually is. They are ergonomic. Now on the bottom, you've got some contouring for your fingers and stuff. And I mean, it feels good. It feels really good. I like this knife. It feels good in the hand. I don't like it because of there's no thumb studs. There's no, thumb flipper. Even being a front flipper, you don't have a lot of real estate to get hold of to flip. I mean, I guess I can do it a little bit, but it struggles for me. I struggle with it. It's a good looking knife. It's a really good looking knife. It's not a reversible pocket clip. You know, there's just certain things about this knife that I don't like. Now it's 14C 28N. So it's a Sandvik steel. It's a really good steel. I like the jimping. I like the blade shape. I like how much cutting edge you get on this thing. It is razor blade sharp. Not as sharp as those Kizers, but it is very sharp. Definitely not as sharp as Kizers. It's not a reversible pocket clip. It is a nice knife. If you like this blade style and this shape and the look of it, this would be a great knife for somebody. This is not a great knife for me because there's just too many things going on with it that are not pluses for me. If it was reversible pocket clip, that would be a plus. That would take off some of that negativity that I feel towards it. If it wasn't a liner lock, that would take off some of the negativity I have towards it. This is even worse than the other one. Look how much that touches it. I mean, it's barely touching it. Barely touching it. So if it had one thumb stud, it would be okay. There's just too many things going on with this knife that are not user friendly for me. It's not the look of the knife. The look of the knife is great. It looks tactical. It looks elegant. It looks blacked out. I mean, I like the look of it. I do like the look of it a lot. I think that's why I got the knife originally, because I like the look of it. Aesthetically, it's great. I like it. The way it fits in my hand, it's great. I like it. It feels good. You can get different positions. You can get different cutting positions, and every one feels great in your hand. For me, there's too many negatives though. So it really boils down to, if I was a right-handed user, only right-handed user, it wouldn't be an issue because it's a right-handed pocket clip. If I could do the front flipping better or the thumb hole flipping better, all those things, those are the things that you don't just buy a knife because of the way that it looks or because it's got the greatest materials and you want a knife that has the best materials. If it's a knife at the end of the day that you're not going to get a lot of use out of and it's going to sit in your drawer because you can't use it or it's not comfortable for you or anything like that, then it's not worth using. I'd rather go with a knife that costs less with 8CR stainless steel that felt good for me, that was easy for me to manipulate and use and stuff like that, than a knife like this with 14C. Not because of the look. The look is out of this world. I mean, I'll give the look a 7 out of 10. It looks great. It looks tactical and blacked out. Just user friendly for me, it's not. You, though, might be different. You might like everything about it that I just said. You might not care that it's a liner lock. You don't care. That's fine for you. You might be really good at flipping with your thumb holes or your front flippers. If you are, that don't bother you. So this would be a great knife for you. So it's relative again. For me, I'm not a big fan of this knife. For you, it might be the perfect knife. And the Egress is only $59. So it's a Kansept or Kansept, however you want to say it. So it's a good knife. It's a good company. So I'm not talking bad about the knife. I never try to talk bad about knives. I try to put it in the perspective of me compared to the knife. What relationship will I have with this knife? How will this knife affect me? How will it be for me to use it? Different things like that. There is no bad knife. Now, if it's weak, if it's constantly failing, if the locking system is trash on it and it's always failing on you and it won't hold an edge and stuff like that, that's different. But just knives in general, they're just knives. They're just knives, and to each his own. What you like, I might not. So it's not a bad knife. I don't mean to say that. Now, this is a Kansept knife that I love. Another knife that I can't believe that I've not used, that I haven't gotten out of this box and put some pocket time with this thing. This is and this is actually discontinued right now. So if this is something that appeals to you, you better jump online and get one right now, because they're discontinued. They're not making any more of these, and they are going to go quick. They just discontinued them. This is the Kansept Spirit. Carbon fiber, S35 VN blade, and it's $119.99. So it's a good deal on this knife, a really good deal. Look at that. It's a Warncliffe blade. Now this doesn't have jimping on the top. It's got these milled, almost wedges, grooves on both sides. So it gives you a feel of texture on the blade that's not jimping, but you can definitely feel that traction. I won't really say that it would hold your thumb in place or anything like that, but you can definitely feel it. It will help you have at least a reference point when you're putting your thumb on there. It feels great in the hand. The ergonomics is great. It's got a good spot right there with that that dip right there on the blade, on the spine of the blade for your thumb. It's got a good belly, curved belly right there, so it's a slicer. I mean, this is a slicer. This is another one that's razor blade sharp. This one is as sharp as the Kizer's. A milled pocket clip. Look at that. This is a milled pocket clip. I wouldn't really say that that's deep carry, but it is reversible, left hand or right hand. It's got a good spot right there for a lanyard. A good spacer right there. I mean, this is a good looking knife. This is a good looking knife. Now, this is a liner lock. That's the only thing about this knife that I do not like. Other than that, I love everything about this. It's got a good flipper. Now, the thing about this flipper, there's no jimping on it. It's really slick and smooth, but it's so long, it protrudes out so far that it's good to get traction on that and flip it out. You won't find your finger slipping off of that thing. You know, some of them are they're like little nubs that barely stick out, that you really got to have that jimping on there to get any traction to flip it out. Not with this one. It sticks out there pretty good. You've got enough room to where you can easily, boom, stick it right out there. It's a great blade shape. Again, feels good in the hand. This is a nice knife. Milled pocket clip, carbon fiber, S35 VN, steel liners that do go the full length of the handle. The full length of the handle. They are thin, but they are in there. Reversible pocket clip. Man, this thing is nice. This is a nice daggone knife. Look at that. Look how good that looks. I should definitely have been carrying this far more by now. This is a knife that deserves some pocket time. I should have, you know, I just got so many knives to rotate through. I'm trying to give all of them and stuff, but, you know, it is what it is. I'll remedy that now, though, because, man, this and this Kizer mini grouper, both of them, I've got to get some pocket time with these things. These are nice. This is a nice knife. For $119.99, 120 bucks. I'm telling you, if you like Kansept and you're wanting a knife with those next level materials and you are on a budget and you're trying to find one for a really good price, this is a good knife right here. This is a really good knife. S35 VN and carbon fiber for 120 bucks. Can you find them under $100 for with that stuff? Yes. I'll actually tell you, I've got the Evolve Overwatch that's got the bronzed titanium and S35 VM blade, blacked out blade. That thing, I had it on one of my videos, next level premium materials, for under $100, because I paid like $90 for that knife, and it was $90 for a long time. Do you know what that knife costs right now on Blade HQ and Knife Center? $196. I don't know, they just stopped putting them on sale and they jacked the price back up. I was looking earlier today when I ordered all those knives. I saw it. I flipped through because I saw the BRS, which is a company that makes those. So I wanted to see what other knives they had. And I saw that. I was like, holy smokes, $196. So the price of things goes, prices usually don't go down. They usually go up. Prices do. This is a great knife that you can get for 120 bucks with S35 VN and carbon fiber. And it is nice. You got to hold this in your hand to feel how nice this knife is. Excellent. It's also really light. It's blade heavy a little bit, I will tell you that. When you do feel it and hold it, you do feel that little bit of blade heaviness, because this is so thin. Liners in here, that steel liners are so thin, and this carbon fiber is so light that you do feel that this blade is not thin. Look how thick that blade stock is. So it is blade heavy, but all in all, this is a nice daggone knife. It's not a heavy knife. It is a light knife, but what weight there is, it is in the blade. So yeah, the Kansept Spirit, I highly recommend that knife. That is a nice knife. This next knife is a knife. I've heard so many people going on about this knife, how nice this knife is. I've seen it on different videos, different people carrying it and doing pocket checks, and they all love this knife and swear by this knife. I've got this knife. It's the Fanium Arcade. The looks of it is outstanding. This thing is awesome. It looks great. Aluminum, carbon fiber inlays, deep carry pocket clip. Now, it's not reversible. It's right hand only. It's got a spot there for a lanyard. It has got, the Arcade is S35 VN. It's got a nice swedge right there. I mean, that is it looks like a spear point, but they call it a drop point. But it looks like a spear point, but we'll go drop point. Now, the jimping, look how aggressive that jimping is. That is aggressive jimping. That's what I'm talking about right there. You move your thumb and you're putting pressure on there and you actually didn't slip, some skin's coming off. That's how I like it. Your thumb is in place and it's not going nowhere unless you want it to. That's what I like my jimping to be. Now, dual thumb studs, so you got it's got great action. Here's my problem with this knife. I struggle with the axis lock on it, or the shark lock, I mean. I struggle with that shark lock so much. I struggle with the shark lock on this. I've got other knives with shark locks that I don't struggle with. For some reason, this knife, I struggle with the shark lock on it so daggone much. I don't know if it's just this. I mean, look at that. I can't close the knife. I don't know if it's just this knife or if it's if that's just how it is and I'm using it wrong. If you've got one and you've noticed the same issues and you figured it out and you know the technique or something I'm doing wrong, please let me know in the comments, because I love the look of this knife. I love it. I mean, that is such a nice daggone knife. It feels good in the hand, the jimping. I wish it did have a reversible pocket clip, but I don't care about that. And on this knife, most of the time I would. But this knife is so daggone nice. Look at that. I mean, that is a nice knife. Feels good. Now, they're not cheap. They're $200. This one is $209. You can get them for about $199 for most of them. but some of them are $209. So they're $10 more. This one is one that's $10 more. I love the knife. I just struggle with the axis, or I keep saying axis lock. I'm sorry, guys. I get tongue-tied sometimes. I struggle with the shark lock on this, and that's exactly why I haven't given this one any pocket time, because I struggle with it way too much. I struggle with it too much. I can't figure it out. I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. And that's it. It's, again, aluminum, carbon fiber inlays. I love the fact with these arcades, you can actually take these inlays out and you can switch them out. They actually sell different inlays that you can put in these. So if you have a different, you want to switch it up, and one week it looks one way, the next week it looks another way, you can do that. You can switch that out. I love that. I love customization, customability. And these little things like that, they're small little things, small little features that go a long way. It just sets it apart. You might be somebody that can't afford to get a whole bunch of multiple knives, especially knives that cost $200 with S35VN and aluminum stuff. You just can't do it. You might be on a fixed budget, but you know what you can do? You can give yourself the feeling and the image that you've got multiple knives. All you got to do is buy some different inlays. That way, you use it for a week and you change it up. Now you got what feels like a whole new knife because it looks different. That small little thing can make a huge difference to somebody. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all start somewhere. Don't despise small beginnings. And if you are somebody that's got a knife, or you're looking for a knife and you want to get the most out of a knife, that's a cool thing to be able to do right there. That's a really cool thing to be able to do. But for me, I struggle with this shark lock. Again, I don't know if it's just this one knife or it's just this knife line and they're all like that and there's just a technique to it and I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. If you know anything about these, please let me know in the comments what it is. But I'm definitely doing something wrong because I cannot operate this shark lock at all. I've got other ones with shark locks and I don't struggle with them at all. This one, I can't do it, and I want to carry the knife. I want to carry this knife, but it's just not worth the aggravation. I get so aggravated not being able to do it. It's frustrating, but that's neither here nor there. Those are, like I said, that's $209, and it's a great knife, and it's by Fanium. Fanium is known for their scales and their hardware and their different, there's not a knife on the market, I don't think, that you can not doctor up and dress up with Fanium materials. They sell scales for so many different knives, especially Spydercos and Benchmades and stuff. They sell a ton of different scales and hardware and liners and all that stuff. And then they started making some knives, and they've done a great job because that knife looks phenomenal. This last knife is a knife that I love, and I just forgot about it. I just really did. I forgot about it. I completely forgot about this knife. This knife is awesome, and it is the Tenable Bomber. Now, one of the things that I love about the Tenable Bomber, guess where it got its name? You might already know this. I'm probably telling you something you already know. I'm just speaking to the choir. That actually comes from Bomber from The Hobbit. He's one of the dwarves, Bomber, and so they named this because Bomber is a big one. He's a big old boy. He's a big dwarf. So they named this the Bomber because this is a big old boy of a knife. It is massive. Look at that. This knife is massive. Look at the jimping on that knife. How far that goes up the blade. It goes up to right there, and that is aggressive jimping. Not as aggressive as that arcade, but it's pretty aggressive. That is a good looking knife all the way around. This is red and black Damascus. It's got a good long fuller on both sides of the blade that gives it reduced weight, but also the look. I told you guys I was going to stop calling it blood groove because everybody refers to it as a fuller because that's what it is a fuller, but I've always referred to them as blood grooves. I grew up hearing them called that, so I did switch. See, I'm doing better. It does have a small minor swedge right there that just gives it that hint, just that little added little touch on the blade. It's barely there, but just enough to give it that look, to make it, I mean, it's noticed. That little swedge is noticed. It is a liner lock. It's a milled pocket clip that's only on one side. It is not deep carry by any means, not even close to deep carry, but it is a nice pocket clip. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. But it's a nice pocket clip. It's an odd pocket clip, but it's actually, is this reversible? Maybe this is reversible. Maybe this is reversible. Okay. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is reversible. Yep. I think it is reversible. No, it's not. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a dummy. I don't even know what I'm talking about. There's no way that that'd be reversible. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. That's not a reversible pocket clip. It's only right-handed only. It's only tip up. Now, there's no thumb studs or anything like this on this. There's no back flipper or anything. This is another one that has the hole, the thumb hole. Or you can use it like a just a front flipper right here. Now, this blade is so heavy, actually, I don't think you can use it like that. Nope, you can't. You have to use the thumb hole. You have to. Now, here's the thing. This one, it don't matter about the thumb hole and working it very well, because here's the thing. The blade is so heavy that it's not one of those that you can flip open really easy like other thumb holes that you can just pop open really easy that I struggle with. The blade is so heavy, it's not meant to do that. It is one that you literally have to manually put into place because of the weight and size. So that way it doesn't bother me. I don't feel like I'm struggling to try to flip it open. I just push it into place with my thumb. That's nice. Look at that blade. I mean, that is a good looking knife. This thing is heavy too, and this is D2 blade. This is a D2. That's a big chunk of D2 steel. It's 7.55 ounces. So this knife is heavy. I know why I forgot about this, because I got the sheepdog or whatever, the Vanguard Sheepdog XL. So, and that is a massive, massive knife. And I got this one the same time. I think I got this one a day or two before. And both of them are huge. And I just put this one away and focused on the Vanguard Sheepdog XL and forgot about this one. I mean, I can't believe it, because, man, look at that. This is such a good looking knife. It's heavy. Boy, it's heavy. Feels so good in the hand. Oh my gosh. The contouring on the handle right there, it's perfect. Your fingers just slides right in there and it just cradles them. It is a great, now that pocket clip is a problem for your left hand. You've got to carry this in the right hand, because that pocket clip is not comfortable in the left hand at all. At all. That is a problem. See how that pocket clip's got that groove? Your fingers want to fall right down in there, and that groove is literally making lines on your fingers. So you've got to carry this in your left hand, or right hand, I mean, if you're going to use it, because then you don't feel it, because it's right up in your palm. So you can't carry this with your left hand. You can, but I can't. It would definitely be a problem using this left-handed. But man, this is such a good looking knife. I don't like the liner lock. Other than the liner lock, there's not anything about this knife I don't like. I don't care about the thumb hole and stuff, because, again, I can do it that way as long as I do it slow and methodically. That's exactly the way you're supposed to do it. And, man, I love this daggone knife. Love it. There's nothing about this knife I don't like. And you can get this entire massive, beautiful piece of craftsmanship right here. The fit and finish on this thing, it's far beyond its price. The price on this is $80, $79.99. And you're getting a massive chunk of D2 steel. You're getting red and black Damascus. You're getting all that hardware. You're getting the fit and finish. You're getting everything. This thing is way nicer than the $80 price point that it has. I'm telling you that. The jimping is nice. It feels good in the hand. I mean, I would feel comfortable. Oh, yes. This thing is sharp. Let me see how sharp. No, this is the only one I'm going to do this with because this is the blade is so thick you wouldn't think that the geometry of this blade would be a very good slicer. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, yep, see that? Yeah, that blade is just too big. It's not a good slicer, but it is razor sharp. It's razor blade sharp. It's just that blade geometry, it's so thick. It's so thick. I mean, if you hit it just right, I'm just not good at that stuff. I'm not good at it. I struggle with cutting paper all the time. It doesn't matter how sharp it is, but that geometry, as sharp as it is. So yeah, you wouldn't want to carry this and use it as like a food prep or a slicer or anything like that. This is a knife that you're going to be able to chop with, that you're going to be able to use as a tactical issue. Not as a, you should never use your knife as a pry bar, but you could probably use this knife as a pry bar. Yeah, don't do that. Don't use your knife as a pry bar. Forget I said that. But yeah, I would probably baton with this knife. It is so daggone big. But more than anything, here's the deal about this knife. There's just not a lot of practical uses for this knife. Even EDC, it's so heavy. Most people aren't going to EDC this knife. I'm going to EDC this knife. Man, it's so daggone heavy. It's hard to EDC this knife. But I'm going to because I like big, heavy knives. There's just not a lot of practical uses for this knife. But it's the looks. This knife sells because of what it is, because of how big it is, because of the it factor, because of the weight, because of the look, because of the just what it's got going on. This is not a fidgety, snappy, throw it into place, playing with it all day kind of knife. This is a knife that is a big chunk of steel that weighs a lot. But man, it's so pretty. It's well made too. Well made. That is the Tenable Bomber. All right, guys. That's just some knives that I was looking at. Like I said, I forgot I even had some of them, and I haven't carried any of them. I'm going to, at the end of the day, this one and this one are going to be getting some pocket time, like soon. The Spirit, remember, discontinued. So if you're interested in this, you better get one quick. And the Mini Grouper. Both of these are going to be getting some pocket time like this coming week. They're going to be in my pocket, and I'm going to get some pocket time. See how much I like carrying them and stuff. If you know anything about this, I love this knife so much, but the knife lock is just a problem for me. And this is a beautiful, beautiful piece of work right here. I love this. Guys, I've got so many knives coming. I probably have 30 knives coming right now. Whenever they get here, they'll get here. Before Christmas, I should have several coming in, and then after Christmas, I'm going to have a lot coming in. So I've got a lot of knives coming. They'll get here when they get here, but until then, we'll figure it out together. I've got a few videos I'm working on that I'm going to be doing here soon, and I'm going to start a new... All right, I'm going to break the bank right here. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys since the video's over, and anybody that's done, you guys can stop. The knives are over. Thank you for watching. Something I'm going to be doing, and I've got my first one that I'm working on right now with someone already. But after that, I'm going to start once a week. I'm going to start a new episode called Reversing the Camera. And I'm going to, hopefully, I'm reaching out to you guys. I want anybody that's interested to email me. Email's in the description of the channel. Email me and let me know. What Reversing the Camera is going to be is all over YouTube, there's a million channels, not a million, but there's a lot of channels where you can watch a ton of different people talk about their knives. Unbox new knives, give reviews of knives, breakdowns of knives, on and on and on. But what are they always talking about? Their knives. What I want to do is start a reversing the camera episode once a week, where I reverse the camera and I take one viewer, I get them on video, and we're going to go over doing an interview. We're going to get your knife story. We're going to get what you like to collect, why you like to collect them. And then we're going to go over your collection. You get to pick out several pieces that you like the most, and we're going to talk about your knives, not mine. And once a week, we're going to pick one viewer from our audience, and we're going to do that episode from here on. And we're going to give a chance for people on YouTube, the viewers, to be the star of the show. Your knives to be the attention getters, not mine. And I can't wait for that. So if you are somebody who is interested, if you would like to show off some of your knives on YouTube to these people out here that like to watch knives, then email me and let me know. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to see it on camera. I'd love to get your story. I'd love to meet you face to face, so to speak. And I'd love to see your knives. I've got a few other things that I'm working on as well. I'm going to try to set myself apart and come up with some different ideas. Just like my 3-knife challenges, I'm going to come up with some different things that sets me apart from everybody else in the knife game on YouTube. So if you're interested, like I said, I've already got one episode that I'm working on right now, and I can't wait to get it done. And I'm going to, as soon as I can get it done and release and stuff, I will. But if you are interested in being my second episode, email me in the descriptions. And we're gonna go. We're gonna take off and run with this. It's going to be called Reversing the Camera, and I can't wait, guys. Having said that, I'm Chris, the Unprofessional Dad. I look forward to our next videos. I've got several coming up. So until then, keep your lives full and your knives sharp. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll see you guys next time.